Mr. McKenzie, and I recognize the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. Protecting our subsea cable infrastructure is critical to national security and to our U.S. economy, which increasingly relies on online markets. These lines are the quiet backbone of modern economy, and because they're largely invisible, they're easily taken for granted. But foreign adversaries do not take them for granted. Nations like China and Russia have developed specialized vessels and undersea capabilities designed to tap, disrupt, and sever subsea cables. They understand that interfering with these networks can undermine America without firing a single shot. Off the coast of my district in South Louisiana, the Gulf of Mexico provides a stark example of the importance of this infrastructure. Subsea cables support offshore energy platforms, vessels, and critical industrial operations hundreds of miles from land. A significant disruption could halt production, spike energy prices, and compromise safety systems. That's why DHS must elevate this issue to the top of operational priority. However, in a recent New York Times investigative report found that Department of Homeland Security under President Donald Trump has reassigned large numbers of agents, including those from wings of Homeland Security investigations that investigate child abuse, exploitation, human trafficking, terrorism, and transnational crimes, to focus primarily on immigration enforcement and mass deportation efforts. Internal DHS documents and interviews show that this shift in priorities has diminished the capacity to investigate serious criminal national security threats. Protecting subsea infrastructure is not optional. This is a national security priority we cannot shift our attention away from. Our economic stability, our energy sector, and the safety of millions of Americans depend on these networks functioning every hour of every day. Mr. Frazier, about 20 to 30 U.S.-owned cables need repair each year, but repairing them is a challenge due to the limited number of specialized repair vessels worldwide. Only an estimated 80 ships exist to service nearly 1 million miles of subsea cable, creating high demand and delays that can last months for a single repair. Cable operators are also left with little choice but to rely on Chinese ships for repairs because alternatives are scarce. In your opinion, what can Congress do to help with this problem?
Thank you for that question. I think we have to lean into America's shipbuilding capacity. The fact that we are still relying on ships built by foreign adversaries in particular to repair some of these critical cables is, in my opinion, a sign of our neglect to this issue. And we have to pay attention to the fact that, again, every cable has two sides. A lot of those cables land, for example, in Taiwan. Taiwan isn't blessed with 88 different cables like we are. Taiwan has 15. And so making sure that there are ships in Guam, in Hawaii, and near Taiwan, for example, is very important, and those ships should be built by American companies.
And as you may know, in Louisiana, I'm proud to have within Louisiana some of the best, strongest, and most reputable shipbuilders in the world within the state of Louisiana. Mr. Frazier, as you note, the need for cable repair capabilities is likely to continue to grow as we use these cables more. Repair of these subsea cables is believed to cost the United States between $12 and $116 million annually. Does the United States know what the true financial cost of repairs and disruptions of undersea cables really is every year? What kind of data sharing could help provide better insight in the impacts of these disruptions?
I think this is where we really need to have that lead agency that's able to collect information from a variety of the private and public stakeholders who are gathering this information and to establish stronger ties with our allies. For example, we know in Tonga, just a volcano caused the single line connecting Tonga to the rest of the world to go offline. Tonga lost internet access for about 4 to 5 weeks. And so we have to factor in also how are our allies doing when the internet gets disrupted.
So 12 to 116 million. That's a pretty big gap. That means we really don't know. That means we have not been able to ascertain just how deep this problem is or how deep it is to fix. What can we do to be more scientific because we understand and know how important it is, one, to understand the problem, and two, to have a remedy to fix it. Any idea, Mr. Botany? You're shaking your head. Would you like to jump in on that? And my time is up, so you got to do it quickly.
No, I think the other point that I wanted to make on repairs was,
Can you stay to this point? That's all I got time for.
oh, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer.
Okay, well,
I
Mr.
would
Frazier.
include in the FCC licensing provisions that companies have to share the information related to repairs and any service disruptions they're seeing directly to DHS or the FCC.
Okay,
The gentleman's
thank you.
time
Mr.
has
Chairman,
expired. Yeah, I thank the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Carter.